Hi, this is Rock, and we're going to talk about avoiding skipping rows when you're creating a data set. And as I was getting ready to work on this, I was going to use the file that I had used for the don't merge cells, and I forgot that I had some merged cells in here, which I never do personally, merging the cells. And what I was just going to do to start the conversation about avoiding skipping rows, I wanted to make that point by sorting this whole data set by the state first. So I went here to sort by column I, and as I did it, it said to do this, all the merged cells need to be the same size. So here's another reason not to merge cells. You can't use the regular sort functions on a data set. So starting off this video by undoing the crimes of the last video. So I have now undone that. Let me bring that down and I'll make this a dual sport like it was. There we go. Now if I take all this and do the sort by column I and then say okay. Now everything's here by state. Okay, sometimes you get a data set, or sometimes you may be tempted to build your data set with spaces in between so that you can see as you're going up, oh, this is where my data for Alabama lives, and then here it ends, and here's my data for Arizona. And part of why you may do that is that visually and organizationally, as you're scrolling down, it's just so much easier to see a nice line like this that gives you a break. All right, here's why not to do that. Like I showed you before in the video about using the autofilter, if I select here and click filter, I'm going to go back to the rock ribbon, click this filter. This is only going to have the filter down through where there's not a break. It's going to stop at the break. So if I'm trying to find Arkansas in this list, it's just not there. Nothing after Arizona is there. So that means all of this data down here is getting ignored. You can't use the autofilter when you've got breaks like that in your data. So what you need to do is go through and just delete the rows that are separating here. And just when you plan to have a data set, just somehow figure out a way to keep the data rows together, especially the left one, so that you can use the autofilter, which is one of the best features of Excel. There's no visual delivery of the data that will justify losing the capability of your autofilter. There are other ways to address the same kind of thing. You can have a line that indicates, and I'll get into this kind of thing when we do the conditional formatting, but you can have colors or other things that will indicate where this starts and stops. Or you could use the column on the left here to say Alabama, and then down here Arizona. And that could give just as good a sense as you're scrolling up and down where the next section starts. But as long as you make sure that you set your filter in the right way and then check and verify, do you have all the states you need? That's really what you want, is to be able to have a full set of data. So avoid skipping rows. That's my soapbox about that. So next time we're going to talk about conditional formatting. See you then.